Transcendentalism. Transcendentalism has the philosophy that humans are hereditally good, society is corrupt, religion is corrupt, politics are corrupt, humans should be independent, spirituality should come from self. Transcendentalism is a body of ideas in literature and in philosophy. Around the 1830s, 1840s, a protest against the general state of culture and society was done by the Transcendentalists. It was around the 19th century school, America, theology, and physiological thoughts, respect for nature, respect for self-sufficient, elements of Utopianism and German Romanticism. Ralph Waldo Emerson's 1936 essay, and the essay was named Nature. Mr. Emerson's essay, Nature, is usually considered the watershed moment on which Transcendentalism became a major cultural movement. Emerson wrote in his speech, The American Scholar, "We will walk on our own feet. We will work with our own hands. Divine soul, which also inspires all men." Emerson closed the essay by calling for a revolution in human consciousness to emerge from the new idealist philosophy. End quote. Here is his 1936 essay, Nature. Their ideals was they still believed in God, but they abandoned the old doctrines as insufficient, confining with respect to the full development of individual self, the inherent goodness of people and nature, while society and its institutions have corrupted the purity of the individual. People are at their best when they are truly self-reliant. Walden Pond, Henry David Thoreau. Mr. Thoreau moved to Walden Pond in the woods of eastern Massachusetts. He built a cabin and lived there for 2 years. During this time, he walked in the woods and connected with nature, kept a large garden, worked odd jobs, read books, journaled, went into town, and entertained guests. And on the sign here on the slide, he said, quote, "I went to the woods because I wished to live deliberately, to front only the essentials, facts of life, and see if I could not learn what it had to teach, and not, when I came to die, discover that I had not lived." End of quote. Amos Bronson Alcott. Many of the residents of the Fruitlands came to be called consecrated cranks because they had to follow strict principles and virtues. Many residents stayed for only a short period of time. Alcott's wife, Abby May, kept a list of the residents in a journal. They strongly believed in the idea of simplicity, sincerity, and brotherly love. The Fruitlands was known as a utopian project that was located in Harvard, Massachusetts, founded by Alcott and Charles Lane in 1843. It was Alcott's idea, but Lane funded and purchased the farmland. Brook Farm, George Ripley. Brook Farm was one of at least 80 communities experiment active in the United States in the 1840s. Though it was the first to be known to have no religious and spiritual basis, Ripley believed his experiment would be a model for the rest of society. He predicted, quote, if wisely executed, it will be a light over this country at this age, end of quote. Here are a few of the transcendentalists that I just gave a presentation on: Thoreau, Walden Pond; Alcott, the Fruitlands; Ripley, Brooks Farm. They opposed and wanted better conditions for workers. They opposed women's suffrage, the rise of free religion, just to name a few. The opposition took progressive stands on women's rights, abolition, reform, education. They criticized government, organized religion, laws, social institution, creeping industrialization. The pros and cons: the flawed doctrine, the idealists, too idealist to be realist. Focus on seeking individual truth and growing to become more self-reliant. 3 principles: individualism, idealism, the divinity of. Here is a brief description on key concepts of transcendentalism and transcendentalists. Transcendentalists sought to reduce societal corruption by encouraging individuals to be their own source of spirituality. Idealism followed the British Romanticism movement and shared its imaginative qualities. The divinity of nature. Transcendentalists were spiritual and saw nature as a sacred force. Transcendentalists believed in the oversoul, or the interconnectedness and divine intention behind everything. So these were some of the key concepts of both transcendentalism, transcendentalism.